Episode of the Cattle USA Daily Podcast. Happy Monday, you guys. I hope that you all had an amazing Easter weekend and that you are starting out this Monday just rejuvenated and that you were able to spend some time with family or celebrating the Easter weekend, all of the things like that. And today, Gary and I are bringing you your weekly weather report, thoughts on what's happening across the Midwest, the storm systems that we're going to see this week, all of the things like that. And then we talk a little bit more spring prediction, what you guys can kind of expect as we go into the rest of our spring and just the weather madness that we have been seeing as always. So Gary and I recorded this on Friday, so we hope that our Friday energy is able to bring some energy to your guys' Monday as you maybe not feeling super rejuvenated going into a Monday after a holiday weekend. Maybe a lot of you are probably more in the boat of, I'm exhausted. We had family over this weekend. I actually need a day off. Well, hopefully our Friday energy is able to bring some of that out of you guys and get you kicked off on an amazing week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode with Gary. Gary, happy Friday. It's Friday here. I know we say happy Friday like every time we start this, but like it's Friday for Gary and I. So happy Monday to everyone else, but it's Friday over here and we're very grateful for it.
So we can brighten up your Mondays because it is Friday. So
we bring the energy on Fridays.
Yeah, we just have to make sure on Monday we feel like it's Friday again, but that's hard.
Exactly.
What I've been doing, Lauren, is amazing. I've been on TV on KSHB in Kansas City, NBC for the last week. And what I'm doing is like, I've had these ties. I have expensive ties. And I have I have thousands of dollars worth of ties.
Yeah.
Over all my years. Because my clothing guy, Eric Love, he wanted me to have the nicest ties. So I've got them all. I never gave them away. I hadn't worn a tie in 2 years. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to probably be on the air for 55 days. And I've been on for 5 days now. I've worn a different tie and I'm saving them all and lining them up on a row.
I love this.
All the days that I've done, I'm already up to 5 ties and they're really nice.
That is amazing. I love that. Bring back the ties.
Yeah, bring back the ties.
Bringing back the ties. There is nothing I love more than like a fun tie. Yeah. It just brightens up an entire outfit. Like whenever like I'm in business professional settings with my friends, I'm like, that's a nice tie. Like, I like that tie. That's fun. A fun tie is just, it changes your whole day.
I'll send you a daily picture of my ties. So
yes, I'm going to need that. I'm going to
need
a text with daily pictures of the ties now.
I'll get that.
Perfect. Well, how's the air been? How's it been getting back into the groove of that, especially remotely, all the things?
Well, I get to talk to people about the weather. So that's what I love to do since I was 5 years old. All I ever wanted to do is talk to people about the weather. And then I also like to talk to them about sports and other things. But sports and weather have been my things. But weather, I get to do that every single day. So when I got up at 1:30 in the morning the last 5 days, I was so excited. I get to tell people about the weather. And It's amazing. And this weather has been absolutely fascinating. Right now, as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we just had a Easter weekend storm system. And if those of you that know about the LRC, let me explain again. If you don't know, the weather pattern is cycling regularly. Every October and November, the weather pattern sets up. So next October will be a brand new pattern that evolves. This year, it's set up in October and November. It turned out to be about a 40 to 41 day cycle. It's really cycling in this 38 to 44 day range. And so now we're in the 5th cycle of this pattern and we're able to predict what's going to happen real accurately. This storm that just came through over Easter weekend and the chance of thunderstorms this week that are going to become more widespread and a possible big severe weather outbreak next week, all that is right on schedule. This Easter storm, I can show you a hint of it November 7th and 8th, December 15th, 18th, and around January 25th. It's all right on schedule and it's producing again. So we just had some rain and thunderstorms come across The spots that continued to get missed seem to still get missed, but there were a few spots that had some heavy rain over the weekend, and that's what's coming in right now.
Yeah, gotta love it. That weather pattern is cycling. I mean, if you guys have been listening to us every week, you should know this by now. Like, it's cycling and it's cycling regularly. And Gary and his team they've got it nailed down, absolutely nailed down. What are we going to be seeing this coming week? So we've got some storm systems coming up. What can we kind of anticipate with that? Are we going to be seeing snow across the Midwest? Are we seeing rain? What does that look like for us coming up on this next week? Need a ranch hand, livestock manager, or just some good help around the place? Ranchwork.com is the go-to job board for ranching-focused careers. They connect employers like you with folks who live and breathe the ranching lifestyle. With over 1 million visits a year, your job posting is going to reach a massive audience of experienced, hardworking cowboys, ranch hands, and land stewards, all right here in the U.S. And the best part, the ad rates are super reasonable. So head on over to ranchwork.com and get your job opening in front of the right people today.
The snow probabilities are finally going down unless you're in the mountains or out, northwest Kansas, not out of the question, obviously, for a little while longer. But no, we're looking, I've had a couple farmers with concerns, we haven't had a drop of rain. There are spots that get missed. When you get missed, it's also part of the LRC. I love to tell people when it's going to rain and then we're right, okay? I don't like saying if you're in an area that hasn't had much rain, the chance of you getting a lot of rain this spring is very low also because the pattern is cycling. And the reason you've been dry is because the pattern just isn't favorable for you getting timely rains. Now, with that said, we've talked about there's this phase 1 of the weather pattern that lasts about 3 weeks, and there's a phase 2 that lasts about 3 weeks. We're in the wet phase now for the next 2 weeks or so, and that's going to give us several opportunities for showers and thunderstorms, some severe weather, so we'll have to watch out for some hail and tornadoes, but it is going to start producing. Most of the plain states from eastern Colorado up to the Dakotas and then back down to Missouri and Kansas are going to get at least 1 inch of rain. And that'll help if you've put your crops in, it'll be a perfect timing. And then also some areas might get a little too much towards southeast Kansas and southern Missouri. But everything's run on schedule, but the drought has been shrinking, so I'm expecting that to continue. And when we talk next week, I think we'll start suggesting that, hey, we just got widespread rain. That's what I'm expecting.
Yes, which is very hopeful and very good. We need it for these spring pastures. It has been a burning season here in the Flint Hills, and so it is perfect timing to hit that rain now.
Right. So did all the burns go on? Is that what's been going on?
Yeah. Most of them are done for the most part. Most of them happened like a week, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The Flint Hills was pretty well on fire. And then last week we had a lot of burn bans going on because of the wind and dry. And so most of them hit in like a good pocket about 2 weeks ago. And then now they're kind of getting to the point now, if they don't burn today, they're not going to get burnt this spring. But most of them have been done, which I love burning season in the Flint Hills. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Because the nostalgia of it, I love it. I love the nostalgia of it, but my allergies and my sinuses hate it. The air purifiers are on. I am taking that Zicam every day. Like, my body doesn't necessarily love it, but I like the nostalgia of it at least.
That's amazing. So the burning is done, and now the planting begins. So
yes,
and then the rains need to fall right at that point.
Exactly. We need that like perfectly timed. I wish you could just like hit a button and rain would come, because you need that time frame where it's not raining quite yet, because we need to get in and get planted. But then as soon as that's done, we need all the rain we can get.
I can't create the timing, but the LRC is able to predict the timing.
Exactly.
We will predict which weeks will be wet, which weeks will be dry between now and the first day of summer. As we move into summer, which is now only 7-8 weeks away, we're just maybe today's 20th, so yeah, we're just 2 months away from the first day of summer pretty much. The weather pattern continues to cycle. The jet stream shifts north, so the rainfall patterns will shift north with it and weaken. But we'll see what happens with the summer pattern. I'm still going to do my due diligence and provide you with that forecast, and that'll come up in a couple weeks. But we're not seeing any major heat wave, but there will be some hot spells that could last 3 to 4 days, weaker heat waves, and we'll try to time those out for you to help your planning.
Absolutely, which is, like we've discussed before, so important for farmers and ranchers to kind of know when that heat's going to hit, all of the things like that, so that we can just continue to stay prepared. And that's the nice thing about a cycling model like this and long-term prediction is we can look out pretty darn far and know what's going to happen and not just have to rely on that 10-day forecast that most of our weather apps get us.
That is absolutely correct. A couple of years ago in 2023, so 2 years ago, you might remember it actually got very dry and there were major fires in Canada.
I do remember that.
And so this big block formed and it kept reoccurring. Now, the LRC, the one thing that the LRC is not capable of doing is predicting a long-term block. It predicts that there might be a block, but it will always show that it's breaking down. This one lasted almost 2 months, and then it broke down. The LRC model predicted it would break down in June, but it took till July, but then it started raining in July. So I don't expect anything like that this summer. I'm just saying that we'll just have to monitor for those kinds of variances in the model.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Any other hot things we need to talk about with the weather? Anything else that we need to cover today, or did we kind of hit the nail on the head?
I think we hit the nail on the head. Here in Colorado, it is snowing.
Gary's favorite day.
And I am loving this. The cherry blossoms, the cottonwoods, they all have come into bloom here. So there's snow on the red cherry blossoms, and I'm going to get some. When it snows 2 more inches, it'll be absolutely pretty, but then we don't want too much more because we don't want the trees to break.
Yes, exactly. It's a good day in Colorado when Gary gets some snow. So I'm glad that you get to enjoy that, but just keep it there. I'll take the rain. You can keep the snow. I don't want the cold weather that comes with the snow anymore. It was a beautiful week here in Kansas, and I'd like to have spring for a little bit longer.
In the last 10 days, it has been 85 and snowed, 75, and now it's snowing again. So this is crazy.
It is crazy. March weather. Well, we're in April now. I can't blame March weather madness, but April weather madness.
March weather madness ended, and April Fool's jokes are over. So I don't know what we can say.
It's just weather in the Midwest. Welcome to spring. That's all we can say, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, to all of you listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Cattle USA Daily Podcast. We have so much fun recording these for you guys. So if you guys want more info on long-term weather predictions, getting your inside track on the LRC model, check out our exclusive Cattle USA link in the show notes down below. We have an exclusive link where you guys can check all of that out, get the inside track into Gary's mastermind of a program, and just help you guys with planting, with just all the other planning that you need for this spring. Make sure you go check that out. And as always, we hope you have a great Monday and that our Friday joy was able to bring you guys some energy for this coming week, and that you guys had a blessed Easter and that you have a great rest of your week. So yes, as Gary said, woohoo! Have a great Monday, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Perfect.